Welcome to a summarized part of Apollo Justice, and by summarized I mean an hour long.
So
Game, you have 1 hour. Can you please drop the circle and just get to a fucking point, please?
I know I shouldn't ask this question, but this thing we're technically almost at the end of the game. You guys promised me gumshoe presence in this, even for brief a moment. Where the hell
You'll
is it?
see. You'll see.
Also, Tio.
Get him.
Also, Tio, sure, we're close to the game in the sense that we're on the last case, but that doesn't mean we're close to the end of this case.
Well, I
Sadly-
guess. Oh,
Sadly, Teo, not even Gumshoe can save this one.
I know.
Well,
I just need to.
we'll see.
I don't really like Gumshoe that much in this game.
Wow, we ruined even him.
You'll see.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah,
Anyway.
put it this way, Tio.
We'll see, Dwibs.
We'll get
The
to
next testimony is our last chance. Oh,
Hey, that's
shit.
that's my line, damn it!
Well, you snooze, you lose.
Mr.
You're
Brussel,
too slow.
testimony, please.
You
You're
two
too
Brits need to
slow.
stop stealing each other's roles.
It was an accident.
That's what they all say.
The only other person in the studio that night was the defendant. It was Vera who bought the coffee. She submitted as much herself. The only thing that touched Drew's lips during the interview was that mug.
Uh-huh.
Why are you attacking yourself with the tools? And nothing
Because
left that studio after he died. Nothing.
Maybe he's just that bored. I don't know.
I'm more surprised that he's using the. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, the only one who could have poisoned him was his daughter.
You don't have to smile for that.
A nice testimony. Clear, succinct, and without room for doubt.
Yeah, because his testimonies before this.
I'm
have
pretty
been
sure
so
even
dull.
Clavier at this point. I'm pretty sure even Clavier at this point is checked out.
Honestly, Teo, was he ever even in at all?
Aw,
Well,
shucks, you really think so?
He was worried about his friend during last trial, as much as the trial depicted him in a more villainous way.
Yeah.
Maybe. Very well, Mr. Justice. You may begin your final cross-examination.
Hopefully.
And by final, we mean not final, because there's still a bit left of this case left.
I mean, that's a tradition at this point.
I still have one trump card left to play, and I won't let this trial end until I use it.
Well, then, let's see it.
Well,
You
first
mom.
you got to cross-examine the guy. Yeah, the only other person in the studio that night was blah blah blah. So yeah. Hold it! Not one thing? You sure?
Maybe yes, maybe not. I don't know. Whatever.
Yep, sure can be.
That sounds sure.
Well, with one exception.
Oh?
One exception. So, what exception? What?
Calm down, Aji. Come on.
Journalist
Give him a
Mark
chance.
Russell does interview, leaves studio. End quote.
Oh.
Oh, so Spark left. Come on! It's a joke, get it? Not funny, I know, but still.
Then don't do it.
Did something leave the studio that night other than his brain?
Try to
Wow,
bra-
Apollo.
Why does that sound familiar? Where have I heard something like that before? Now that we've proven our witness is a comedian of sorts.
No, not really.
As in a hooligan comedian.
Mo
I'd like to
the
turn
clown is
to our
better
defense-
comedian.
I'd like to turn to our defense attorney before returning to the testimony. Do you have any idea what, if anything, might have left the studio that night? I think one thing might very well have left the studio that night, actually.
Where did the music go?
Well, Tio, it's our hint that we're onto something when the music silences.
The music
Sure,
is bold
but,
too.
But it doesn't
There
stop
There you
for
go.
long.
A certain
Periods of
something
time.
that has vanished from the crime scene. By which you mean... something other than our witness? Yeah, the ghost of Drew Mission left the
Technically, but we don't exactly have proof that a spear medium was there.
Edger?
Oh, sorry. Okay, don't tell me. Vera mission?
Believe me, any comic relief I may provide is entirely unintentional.
No animals were harmed in the making of the scene. The resemblance of any people, live or fictional, is completely coincidental. Copyright.
Then let's see what you've got for us, Mr. Justice Trademark. Well, this thing wasn't at the scene of the crime, so I can't show it to you.
Okay.
So...
But I do have evidence that shows how it could have been taken from the scene.
Alright.
Put it in my badge. Take that! This is the only link between that studio and the outside world.
It's a mother box.
Looks a bit red for
It's a
that.
box.
Well, I guess the dark side has become very kinky.
What did Mr. Brushell just tell us other than a bad joke? When he entered the studio on the night of the murder,
Mm-hmm.
the victim had just finished writing a letter.
Oh.
Ah, yeah, I said that, and yeah, it was true. But what does that have to do with anything?
You'll find out.
I was bound to say that.
Eventually.
Furthermore, he went on to tell us that he put the letter in a yellow envelope and put it in the letterbox.
True.
Oh, but that same letterbox was empty. In other words,
He mailed it. The
that
fiend.
night the yellow envelope disappeared.
Dun, dun, dun. Objection! Ah, yes, intriguing. So an envelope has disappeared from the scene of the crime. Yeah, of course, this changes nothing.
Because you say so.
Yes.
As far as he knows so.
Huh? He has a point, Mr. Justice. He does.
Can someone explain this point?
No. Because I can't. What we're trying to figure out here is how the poison got into Mr. Bishop. Well, maybe he touched the letter, and the letter seeped his way into his skin. Is it really important that the envelope the witness says he saw disappeared because of the poison pen letter?
Like I said, the dead movie Sean Connery actually has a similar way of poison.
Well, if it did disappear, then something did leave the studio that night. That seems very important to me.
True, that does leave a stone unturned.
Very well then. The witness will add this to his testimony. Now! You got it. And stop twitching.
I still think this fails to change anything, Air Forehead.
Yeah, keep telling yourself that, Clavier.
Yeah.
Yes, mine purple coat. I wouldn't be so sure. A letter disappeared from the crime scene then. Yeah, you just told us that. And don't go saying it's a recap either, you literally just told us. This is exactly the opening I've been looking for.
Yeah.
A letter was put in the post from the studio, but I hardly think that matters. But yeah, about as much as your teeth matter.
Oh.
Hey, hygiene on teeth is important. Life with terrible teeth is terrible.
Obsession,
Joe, if he brushes
boy.
Jova, if
Obsession.
he brushes them anymore, he won't have any enamel left.
Well, I'm not saying to brush to the level he does, obviously.
Well, to be really precise,
To be precise.
I was busy gobbling mint candies the whole time.
Of
Yeah.
course. Who are you, Tails?
I think a better reference there would be King's Quest 6.
One of those candles might have been poisoned.
Yet, at the time of the autopsy, no fresh fragrance of mint filled the room.
They were really sucky mints.
So, were you there when the autopsy was being... whatever. and no mint residue was found.
He has a
Why would
point.
they
There.
be on the body?
Oh, no. Basically, he means throughout the entire room, there would have been some hint of a residue left.
It was a long shot anyway.
Guess it makes sense since the police did arrive to arrest Vera the same night. So yeah, there'd
Huh?
definitely be some smell left over.
Don't tell me you're still trying to prove this.
Well, what else can I do?
You think the victim ate, drank, or otherwise ingested something other than coffee?
Oh, yeah, his breakfast or his dinner or his tea?
Yeah, but that would mean Vera probably poisoned those.
Well, Mr. Justice, if you have some
And
proof-
if I recall correctly, what Emma said, the poison is actually very fast in doing it.
Well, actually more so that it's slow, but it's very hard to tell that it's affecting your body until it's too late.
Possibility isn't gonna cut it. Not now. Mr. Missum ingested something. He ingested that poison via a route other than that coffee.
Can you prove it, Apollo?
Proof is possible. Here goes nothing.
Alright. Okay.
Haven't seen that in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do understand what we need, yeah? I thought it's just it's
Do
just
you understand?
proof, Air Forehead, not possibility.
I just said,
No matter how endless they are.
I just said proof, damn it. Of course. Oh, and Prosecutor Gavin, I hope you understand.
Air
Yeah.
might be suffering from schizophrenia.
I'm ready to give you that proof.
Oh.
What did you say?
Oh no,
I-
he's confident.
To give you that proof, her death. I have proof of the disappearing envelope.
I'm going to pull the envelope off from my hair. Behold!
I saw him writing a letter. Here I did. Which was picked up by the mailman, I assume. So the postman, but yeah, same thing.
Mailman, yeah.
Of course. Which means that envelope had a stamp on it. A stamp. Ah.
Yes,
As
do you
we
know what
all
that is?
know, stamps come with dry glue on the back.
And you have to lick it.
Of course, Misham died by licking glue from stamps and envelopes, just like Susan from Seinfeld. There you go.
By licking the stamp.
There you go, see? Case solved. Okay, can we finish the game now?
I hate
Hey.
stamps like that.
No one were actually day and age.
Excuse
Fuck you.
me.
States.
Excuse me
How
if you're
petty of
too new to actually write a letter.
Objection! Even if you wanted to talk to him, you couldn't.
Sure.
Why didn't you just use instant messaging, Air Forehead?
In the year 2026, yeah. Rawl.
Well, okay.
I know, but maybe that spirit medium Mr. Wright told me about could help you, but she's not here right now.
Objection. Okay, so you lick the stamp. Oh wait!
There's more!
But I'm not done yet.
how does that explain the atraquinin on the rim of the coffee mug?
Oh, it's
Maybe
simple.
as a backup step.
Not just that, he licked it and immediately after he sipped the coffee.
Especially if his
Like-
tongue ever touched his lips.
If he licked the back of a poison stamp, the poison would get on his tongue, yes? What would then happen if he put the coffee mug to his mouth? Hmm?
There
Well,
you go.
dang. He's got him.
Alright, I got
Yeah.
it. Oh,
Stop smiling!
I'm sorry, Air Forehead, but this is the only expression I have.
Those traces on the mug weren't the killer's doing.
my
It was
life
the
is a
other way
prison,
around.
an eternal agony. Put an end to my suffering.
You know, that's the one thing. Sure, a video game character may be more popular than you'll ever be, but they have limited sprite motions, and they can't exist until they ever get a sequel to a game.
But
The coffee mug didn't poison Mr. Mission. Mr. Mission poisoned the coffee mug himself.
Dun dun dun! The actual victim was the coffee mug.
Turns out the victim was the coffee mug, and Misham is the killer. See, it all makes sense now. It all makes sense now.
But that doesn't... Does it?
No, it doesn't, Judge. It doesn't.
Also, Jova, as we know, 2D waifus are better than 3D ones.
Recall, if you would.
Where is this case even going by this point?
Atroquinine is a slow act. Fuck, I've forgotten how to pronounce it. So I ask Siri again.
I think it was atroquinine.
Whatever.
The poison entered his body when he put the stamp on that envelope.
Uh-huh.
So clearly, we need to have a trial against with the coffee mug. We need to call the coffee mug to the stand.
It wasn't up until the very moment he touched his lips to that cup of Joe.
Your Honor, the defense likes to call a witness, the coffee mug.
I mean, wouldn't it be weird at this point? Hello? Game?
The game is thinking today, hold on.
Mr. Brussel? Atroquinine, there you go. Uh-oh, his nose is picking up another scent. As I believe I mentioned earlier.
Ugh.
Well, that's the thing, see? After he put his letter in that envelope. Mr. Mission sat there searching his desk drawer for something. In black and white, his grey face shadow doesn't look that pronounced.
Yeah,
Yes, a stamp, a so-called postage stamp, and quote.
That's the wonder of black and white.
His design was clearly made with color in mind.
But you know, I don't seem to remember him ever finding one. Maybe he just run out?
Sure, why not?
But that's the thing. How would you put it in the letterbox without a stamp?
Incidentally, we searched the desk drawer at the scene of the crime because of course we did.
Well, they gotta give a thorough investigation.
How dare you do your job?
There were no stamps. Not a single one.
Well, fuck.
So now what?
That does pose a problem.
It's like that clip from Red Dwarf. Overall, it has been a bit of a problem, isn't it?
How will you prove that the stamp was coated with poison?
If there was no stamp.
Actually, I'm glad no other stamps were found.
Ooh, what's this?
But don't you see, Your Honor, it wasn't the poison that got into the stamp, it was the stamp that got into the poison.
It makes proving the stamp he used was poison possible.
Good show. I'm British now for some reason.
Yeah, we say that sometimes as a little homage to our cousins over across the pond.
The way his laugh was written looks like it's about as fake as CinemaSins laughs.
You can even prove there was a stamp at the scene in the first place.
Well, let's hear what the defense has to say anyway.
I mean, this one's easy. If the fact that the letter got sent at all would have mean it would have had to have had a stamp.
Where's your evidence that proves the existence of this poison stamp? The tiny picture frame. It's got atroquinine on it. Take that! Well, that certainly is a cute little frame. By little, I mean really little.
Chibi-sized.
It was on the victim's desk, Your Honor, and size doesn't matter.
True.
Quite empty, as you can see for yourself.
I mean, 1 minute people were saying Riddle was too big. Nowadays, he's hit the big time in Smash.
I noticed that too during my inspection. So what?
You're about to get served hard time for that, Clavier.
Yeah.
Apparently you weren't as observant as you should have been.
Ooh.
Yeah. For all your gloating about how perfect your investigations are, you missed this apparently.
You see, when you saw this frame, it was missing something quite important. Picture of my fist hitting your face. Missing something? Seriously, why people ship you an Ember, I have no idea. Yes, a pale bluish stain on the inside of the frame.
Fortunately, Amino has a better ship.
A track-winning residue.
It's because of the usual, oh boy, she can't stand him, he annoys her, they can't stand each other, but they'll eventually love
What?
each
Yeah,
other.
they really love each other, don't you?
What? Why wasn't I told about this?
Emma unofficially told you to go fuck yourself. The frame is only 2 inches square. The face of the frame is even smaller.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe an inch wide at most.
That is pretty small.
In centimeter, please.
I can't really.
A couple centimeters. Tall,
I know how big stamps are, just Jess.
You are insane.
Maybe if we get a case that takes place in Europe.
Oh, but I am. Tell me, it fits in such a small frame.
Your mom?
Your penis?
Remember to stamp, perhaps?
That's actually better
That's a low blow, guys.
than literally.
Right below the belt, eh?
I'm sorry, I'm so bored that I have to resort to this to keep myself awake.
I don't know, it just works. Honestly.
No one blames you, Pedro, trust me.
The poison stamp was in this frame.
Stamps! Impossible!
That's what they all say.
Prosecutor Gavin.
What, Judge?
Judge Udgy. Why would he put something like that on his desk? I don't know. Maybe he's a weird. Maybe he's a weird fuck. How should I? Don't tell me he had it there so he could commit suicide if the mood struck.
Nah.
What do you?
Sorry, the mood.
You know, can I say something?
You know what?
I had a
No.
thought, see?
You
No.
shut up.
You shut up.
Also, Pedro, artists are weird fucks, and none of
Yes.
them will deny it.
Van Gogh,
Mr.
anyone?
What, Mr. Brussel? Please stop chittering around like that.
Afflicted by the jitterbug?
Even the judge is sick of his.
I
Those,
thought it was a forger, right? There's a lot of money in that line of work.
True.
So.
Forger forges friends, makes enemies too, and...
Ah.
Wait, so he made fake friends? Damn, that guy really did have issues. So the poisoned stamp might have been a murder weapon aimed at him.
So let me get this straight. The murderer's plan was to silently plant a poisoned stamp in his office and counting on mission for no real reason to lick that stamp.
Well,
Like-
Pedro. You have to lick the stamps to get them to stick.
if he had an envelope that, the circumstances were right where he needed a
If
stamp
there were-
and did not have other ones,
Yeah.
Ridiculous flights of fancy to the Gaviners. So you're making
So you're admitting that your songs are shit.
No. He's just saying that they have flights of fancy. Like, plenty of songs have bows in them.
I'm sorry,
Sure,
who's making the own goal here?
The stamp was a murder weapon. Nonsense.
It's not like the
Please,
goalpost,
Weirderous,
sure.
please.
Javier, do you know which series you're in?
Weirderous happen in both this universe and in real life.
Murder is a simple business. One would go to such lengths. No, but don't you see, Jova? We're trying to be more realistic and serious with this one.
That's the thing. Like I said, weirder murders have happened even in real life.
Come again?
You like things simple? Sorry, they're not gonna be that simple. Deal.
Recall, if you would, the victim's reclusive lifestyle.
Sorry, Clavier. Simple answers are very rarely correct ones.
True
Guess we
mission
better
hid
get
from
rid
the
of
world.
Occam's razor
He
then.
avoided meetings.
Well, I said rarely, not never.
Yeah.
I know.
His only contact with the outside world was the mail. the mail. What, the
What
Daily
is
Mail?
this?
Of course, Newman was the killer. Because when you control... Go ahead.
If you wanted to kill someone you couldn't meet, but you knew read letters.
Why is
Ah,
it
that is actually
Why
a
not
good
use the
point.
anthrax van?
Yes, Major?
Because when you control mail, you control information. Ridiculous. Where's your proof? I want proof.
Funny, you don't seem to give proof that often when you're proving a point.
Well, technically the burden of proof is with you on this one.
Sadly,
Show us evidence that his poison stamp was sent to him as a murder weapon.
I might not have evidence per se.
what Apollo?
You do have a plan, do you?
The things are finally starting to come together.
They
Yeah.
are?
Are they?
Are
Yeah.
they?
In hindsight, yeah, I'll vouch for it. It is.
And we don't stop.
It doesn't
coming.
mean it's particularly, amazing writing, but it is.
Sure.
Oh,
What is it? What is it, Apollo? Your fists are trembling.
Trucy White, are you possessed again?
I
Yes.
think so.
I think I know what happened. I don't believe it, but I can see it.
Well, you know what they say, seeing
A
is
vision.
believing.
The judge killed him.
That reminds me,
You had an
Dwibs,
epiphany.
that reminds me, Dwibs, I have an idea. Can I be backup Trucy for this part?
Sure, in case you're a suburb.
Sure. But don't worry,
I'll
Jojo.
be upset if the judge is ever found to be a murderer in
Well,
anything.
fill this in, Mr. Justice.
Well, did
Oh,
Joe mention that there is a fanatic of
A
Isotony that
certain
hasn't
piece
been
of evidence
completed?
points us to the truth, Your Honor.
Yep. In fact, I recall correctly, I think that fan case is made as the pseudo-fifth case of Apollo Justice.
I can show you how someone with the intent to kill sent Mr. Mission the stamp of death.
A stamp of death.
Oh, of course! He used an envelope, just like in Suburban Commando.
Oh, snap.
Isn't this the... Isn't this the envelope, the one from 7 years ago?
The truth about 7 years
7 years ago.
Think about the text of the letter again.
Apollo Justice, last episode. Wishes are
There were
eternal?
2 pages in the envelope. This is page 1.
Okay.
And this is page 2. And this is page ITV, and this is page channel 4, blah, blah, blah. I want to draw your attention to one phrase in particular.
Hello, everybody. I'm Kermit the Frog. I'm here to talk to you about the number 2. The number 2 comes after number 1.
Send in the enclosed envelope with the enclosed stamp within 3 days.
Sounds like a trial time.
Only 3 days? Jeesh.
So rude.
What if I'm busy on vacation or something?
The
Also, that
enclosed-
stamp better be first class if you want it there in 3 days.
Oh.
What the hell?
Judge, are you okay there?
In other words, if I have this straight, the stamp, poison on the stamp, click, click, end quote.
You are just profiting off of the information here, aren't you?
That was actually funny.
Now, what if he done exactly the same as the letter asked? Well, yeah, again, Siri, I could totally see this guy being on that the day-to-day show.
Yeah.
The incompetent journalist.
You would sign the document, putting in the envelope, and put the stamp on it, right?
True, it's a common nice money-saving procedure.
What, dying?
No! Sure.
I'm afraid you'll have to die.
Okay, sure. It depends on how big a family you got if you're willing to save costs that much, and even still, let's not go all old school Alaska on us now.
15
Had
minutes
enough of that
were
in
elapsed
North.
between affixing the stamp and mailing the letter. But the clock started ticking, and when this time came, he drew his last breath.
Over dramatic much, Apollo.
I'm a lawyer. It's my job to be
Everyone's being
overdramatic.
overdramatic today,
It
I
helps
think.
boost charisma.
And we actually have a
Yeah.
jury here, so yeah, it makes sense.
And the murder weapon will be taken away from the scene.
Oh my god, that's actually pretty clever on the killer's
Yeah, we have
part.
a very quiet jury.
Quite convenient.
Well, remember, Sheree, the jury are in a completely different room watching this via camera,
Yeah.
so that they can't be
draw the-
influenced directly.
Plot twist.
Plus we,
all of them,
plus we
all of
can't
them
draw
fell
the
asleep.
jury in this.
Yay!
The jury are asleep.
Such a splendid imagination you have, Air Forehead.
Better than your songwriting.
Oh.
Ooh.
Does Clavia know about Big Top?
Let me confirm one thing with you, if I might.
It probably made the history and law
Yes.
books.
Yes, Mr. Gavin, your shirt is black.
I am a great magician. Your clothes are black. So this
Actually,
is
it
pushing
looks
samples
like a
inside this
very
envelope from
deep
7 years ago,
purple.
yeah?
Oh yeah, it is more of a deep purple.
So, Air Forehead, could you tell us about the truth about 7 years ago?
It's not black, it's midnight
not-
blue.
That's not my job. Well, go talk to the spiky-haired one. The other one, I mean.
It was a dark.
I
and
think you
stormy
didn't want him
night.
here. It's a little bit of a stretch, but there is a possibility.
Hey, he's here. I might as well get some use out of him.
I don't think he's showing
Yes.
up.
A very small possibility. How small, I wonder? Maybe as small as your penis, Air Forehead?
I was gonna say that.
Guys,
Apollo
come on
goes for the
now.
brain,
it's
but
my joke.
Um,
What do you think, Trissy? How small is it?
okay, let's not.
Pedro, no.
okay, Pedro, no for multiple reason.
You know, Pedro, you're part of the problem, you know, involving that thing.
And you know damn well why.
I didn't intend to prove this seeming coincidence.
Jesus Christ, we're barely halfway through this.
Oh yeah, and Tio has no idea what's going on, I guess.
Well,
Trucy, just ignore him, alright?
okay.
It was 7 years ago, and we don't even know who sent that letter. Phoenix, what can we do here?
And your answer is silence.
Like I said,
I
Apollo, I don't
see.
think he's coming.
Very well.
And they don't stop.
I
coming
mean,
and they
you
go
did
back.
want him gone so
What's
badly.
this?
It's
Wait,
not
what's this?
nice to pick on the Fraulein, Clavier.
What is he doing here?
Oh
How
my
is he
God,
here?
Who is here?
It's the brother. Come on.
It's-
Yeah, there
It's
you go.
busted.
How-
Oh, it's Emma.
Emma.
Surprise!
Ah, Emma!
Where did you come from?
Do you
What-
like
what
it?
was
It's
What
my.
is going on?
Do you like it?
Why
It's
was
my
it-
new disguising kit.
Yeah, what the hell did that...
Well, like my Christoph Gavin impression, did I sound like him?
No!
Actually, you did.
In this universe, no.
Enough to freak
Don't
out.
quit. Don't quit your day job.
True, yeah. Hey, it was enough to freak.
Everyone's being very mean today.
Hey, it was enough to freak out Clavier.
Don't you have a crime scene to be looking after, Fraulein Detective?
Oh, and don't you have a career to actually be working?
That's the thing, I don't even know what I'm doing at this point.
Someone had to come dig you out of all the mess you're making of this case.
Yes, someone! Please, Emma, save us!
Mess.
Yes,
Can we take
Apollo.
a snack break?
Yes, Apollo. You and Clavier are going constantly in circles.
You know, none of this would have happened if you just trusted in science a little more.
Oh, that's so.
Who needs science when you have lawyer's intuition?
You can find out if that stamp was in that envelope easily.
Ladies and gentlemen, Deus Ex Emma.
Right as well.
What is this science sorcery you speak of, Fraulein Detective?
Witchcraft.
Forensic. Glare at me all you want, but science is on my side.
Also, Clavier, how fucking much of a dinosaur are you? You don't know what science is?
It's all in the residue, right?
Science has existed thousands of years.
Not only that, I guess it's the new generation where science is too old school, man.
That's right, the poison detection spray.
Mm-hmm.
Produce the red envelope at once.
So let me get this straight.
You can open it on the authority of the court.
Let me get
Oh,
this straight,
that's
Clavier. You have a forensic forensic scientist as your investigative partner, and you don't have her, properly research using her scientific tools.
They don't
There we
seem
go.
they don't seem to emphasize her as his partner, and remember, she's technically not officially a forensics expert because she
Well,
kind of
would
failed
you
that
look at
test.
that?
Yeah, we could always bend the rules a bit.
Yeah, but he doesn't know that she did.
No mistaking it. That's atraquinine residue.
Atraquinin.
Never.
Whatever, moving on. Can we just get out of this fucking mess we've put ourselves in?
I don't believe it.
Oh, you better
No
believe
way.
it.
I can't believe.
This. A murder weapon from the past.
It's like time travel.
Now, 7 years later, it bears its fangs at last. Hey, that rhymes.
Everyone is being a bit too dramatic. Are they all scripted?
Objection! Absolutely outrageous! Tell me why!
Ooh, Clavier,
What is
did
going
something
on?
traumatize you 7 years ago?
Why did this murder take place 7 years ago?
That's 7 years late, and not everybody's perfect.
Well,
You know, Jova, I can't speak for you, but when I got to this point in the game for the first time, I was like, okay, hello, I'm the player. Can someone clue me in on what the hell everybody's talking about?
Well,
Can
it's
we
supposed to
actually-
keep you in suspense, of course.
It wasn't a murder case, it was more of a case of fraud, but I remember hearing about one that was being planned out over 20 years.
Yeah,
That's some dedication.
the truth
Yeah.
is stranger than fiction.
figured what out?
You missed the always, but yes, for now you got it right.
He realized that the person who sent that letter wanted him dead.
Hey, remember me, game? I'm the player. Could you remind to clue me in
So
on
he
what the fuck
sent
is
his
going
reply
on?
with a different stamp. Well, be quiet, you're getting it now.
And put this decisive evidence to the frame.
Of course.
We're going to stick it on the wall.
Who's this?
Who said hold it?
Hmm?
Hold
Oh.
it!
You're still
Oh.
here.
Ah, you're still here?
Just exactly.
The judge is still the best character.
Can I make a statement here on the record?
Can't you just go away?
Well, he is still the witness on the stand.
I, Spark Razor Tooth Brussel, claim this scope as mine.
Seriously?
Razor Tooth.
Razor tooth.
Drew Bishop killed in cold blood.
End quote.
By
But you
sender
can't
of
claim it.
7-year-old
This is being
letter.
recorded. It's already been claimed.
With that nickname, Razor Tooth, you will be a great Mad Max leader in the future, post-apocalyptic.
No, maybe something more succinct. Star falls after 7-year delay. End quote.
Rock falls at painter dies.
How long did Duke Nukem take to come out?
20 years, I think.
Ah,
15.
dang. Guess that's 13 years too little.
Order, order, order! I see no room for further argument here.
The more we dive into this case, the more confusing it all becomes.
No, I admit, this is all coming as quite a shock.
I mean, if the postal service must be really shit for the murder to not have happened for 7 years.
To think that a murder weapon reached his mouth after 7 years, stamped his ticket straight to afterlife, end quote.
Huh, that actually works. Tickets, please. Next.
Uh-oh. I think the witness is a bad influence on our judge.
Wouldn't be the first one. Would
Yeah.
not be the first
And
one.
not the last either.
Oh yeah, I'm looking
At least
forward.
Damon was more interesting.
Oh yeah, you want to talk influences? I'm looking forward to that one witness from the fourth case of Spirit of Justice.
I see no need for further debate on this matter. The sender of that letter 7 years ago.
It's
could hardly-
Canadian edgy, isn't it?
Basically, Shiroi, think about this. Imagine if April May and Mo the Clown had a love child.
Whatever, Joe. we all
Oh
know-
my god.
Yeah, I was just calculating the age. 7 years ago, 8 years.
Apollo,
shit.
where do I find the brain bleach?
Yeah, a 12-year-old couldn't have done it. I think we just won.
Well done.
Yay!
All right, well, can we go home now? Can we finish the game?
Please.
But there's
Very well. This
we're
court
only
finds
just
the
over
defendant-
halfway.
Oh, where's the objection? There you
Objection.
There it is.
go. I mean, it's predictable.
Thought you wanted it to be simple, Clavier.
Not only that,
Is this the bright future of our legal system?
Oh, someone is a sore loser.
Yeah.
What
I'm starting to like him less and less now.
Prosecutor Gavin? That's his name.
You know, again, at least, you know, this was, you know,
And Gavin was his name.
you know,
Ticket to the afterlife from 7 years ago. What
you
do
know,
think
it's
this
funny
is,
you mentioned
Buckshot?
liking him less, Roy. That's part of why I still like Goto over him. Yes, Goto did worse stuff, but at least Goto was more consistent in that you were not really supposed to like him, at least, you know, as your opponent. Clavier, again, he starts off being supposedly the nicer one, but then as each case goes by, it's like they can't decide until we come to the ending with this case, where, well, it's a mess, to put it lightly.
Yeah.
I'll still wait to the end before I decide whether I like him more than Goto
Indeed.
still.
Indeed.
Because
Indeed.
Goto really pissed me off. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
yes. I would definitely recommend that you still wait on judgment.
There's a fatal contradiction in Erfordhead's claim.
Well,
My theme music says so.
I do think, well, I guess he considers it his objection beam.
A contradiction?
It's not every day the prosecution point that out.
Also, hey, shoot Takobi, stick to your day job.
A poison stamp was placed in this envelope 7 years ago.
You think he's snappy to the music?
Not really, it doesn't sound like it's in beat.
Whereupon it was framed. Until now.
Maybe it's on a delay in his head or something.
I don't know, with the meter it should be going at least either to, well, maybe a certain tempo of a half.
I actually tried to get it in sync, but I only do that sometimes.
If that's the case, then why would Drew Misham have done what he did?
That is a good question. He evades the killing, puts it in there, but then 7 years after...
Emma explained that. He must have realized it was poisoned.
But therein lies a problem, Apollo.
Therein lies the rub. Seven years ago, the forger Drew Misham sensed the trap and put the stamp in a frame.
7 years later, he makes the oopsie mistake.
Well, unless he really did commit suicide because he was desperate from a situation.
I do not debate this, but this begs the question.
Maybe someone discovered his forgery and he wanted to avoid being captured.
Why, 7 years later, did he use that stamp on the night of the murder?
Though that does beg the question to you, why'd he send the letter?
Maybe because someone else is involved.
Surely you
Interesting.
don't mean to suggest that Mr. Misham simply forgot?
Well, it was 7 years.
He put the murder weapon in the frame on his desk for 7 years and forgot?
Aw, people do clumsy things all the time.
Yeah, just last week, Tracy picked up a plate and nearly threw it on the ground. She forgot it was...
Jova, you expect us to believe he sprang the trap on himself?
Apollo, you take this one.
While I admit this is all quite shocking myself.
Uh-huh.
It does seem highly unlikely that he would fall afoul of a trap.
Oh well.
That had been sitting on his desk for 7 years.
I don't know. Square Enix certainly seem to forget certain stuff they leave on their desk for a while.
Apollo.
Yeah, we need more original jokes.
Oh, I got
I don't
plenty
think
more.
Valve without life, there you go.
I don't
Yeah.
think we're winning anymore.
You think?
I'm glad that you're all back in the real world. Dwibs, I can always bring back my
Did
penis
we
joke if you
have-
want.
Were we ever first?
We're trying to stay above that threshold, Pedro.
Welcome back to reality. We've been waiting for you. Yes!
Okay, that was funny. Could you actually try being more funny like that?
Okay.
Okay, then how do you explain the poison stamp that was in this envelope?
Can we please move on from the fucking stamp?
Pedro, it's a part of the case.
But this goes on for so long.
And I have no idea where it's going.
That's what I hate about this game, Jova. They take so long just moving on from one single point.
Yeah, I do have to admit, my first time playing this, even I felt like... Okay, usually when Ace Attorney things battled on a certain detail and hung on it, there was a lot of nice stuff to keep it going. Like, of course, you had the antics from the prosecution. You had the constant wits back and forth, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but does anyone else
Oh
feel...
my god, he's pulling a fucking Von Karma.
What?
The bullet doesn't exist!
It was like, because we didn't bring the stamp itself, he said it doesn't exist, despite the fact that we proved that it did exist!
What about the attraction?
Ace Attorney!
Guys, let's pay attention.
Oh, I agree. That does seem to be atraquine residue, whatever.
Remains.
But her forehead, it's certainly no stamp.
How do you know?
It doesn't exist! We couldn't find it, it doesn't exist!
It doesn't the bullet doesn't exist, Mrs. Phillips.
Jesus.
Okay, explain what it is, then.
Even if your precious poison stamp did exist, like I literally cannot. Jova, tell me if I can.
Yes, you can. In the
I never could.
In the words of a very good president, yes, you can.
Drew Misham never
Bob
would
the
have used
Builder?
it.
Bob the Builder was not a president.
I'm being sarcastic.
I can't, Shuri. With how crazed you sound, it's a bit hard to tell. You don't have your usual sass and wit about you.
If we, well, still better than the current one.
I believe we've come to a conclusion.
I'm sorry, anything's better than the current one.
Well, I mean, seriously, though, Obama was a great president. Got us health care, got jobs, helped us get out of the U.S. debt, even though Trump is trying to take credit for that.
Was a bit of a mess at first.
Thank you, Ace. Thank you, Apollo. You reduced us to talking about politics.
I can't believe it.
Politics?
Fuck that noise, Jova. We need to chase away all the immigrants.
Me, woman.
Poison traces match up. It can't be coincidence.
Well, Apollo, let's think about it like this. Technically, a lot of our stuff...
I'd like to bring some closure to this issue sometime this year.
Thank you!
Burn!
Someone!
Burn!
Okay, I really need a coffee.
Okay.
I really wish this game would take its own.
Alright. If Ace Attorney ever does get into Smash, please, can we have something like the Coda Calls, but with the judge burning every fighter that Phoenix has to face?
Let's
please.
Find out where we stand. 7 years ago, Drew Bishop received a red envelope.
I think Manfred would be interesting in Smash.
There were traces of poison atroquinine on the document inside that envelope.
Like I said, I would think Francisca is more logical because she has a natural weapon.
I guess she'd have to be a semi-clone as opposed to an echo. Unless they make her an echo of Richter or Simon.
On this tiny
That'd be interesting.
And hey, it would finally mean that we see the revenge of a Tatsunoko versus Capcom duo that never came to be.
The defense has indicated the possibility of a yellow.
Oh, the yellow envelope!
An envelope that left the scene of the crime with the poison stamp on it.
So
we have the red envelope, we have the red envelope, the yellow envelope, and then we have the blue envelope, the free ninja colors from Mortal Kombat. It's all complete now. Yes, but even if this envelope contained a poison stamp...
And I'm only speaking hypothetically.
And Drew Misham, knowing this, put it in a frame. That means that Drew Misham never existed to begin with.
You're going off the grid now.
He never would have used that stamp.
Well, think about it. Someone who's so secluded, barely has contact with the outside world. Like, it's the way of saying, if a tree falls in a forest and no one hears it, did it really fall?
I'm afraid you're afraid. You're supposed to be impartial, aren't you? Which means there is a fatal flaw in the defense's case.
Maybe people heard the word timber. There you go. Too. That's how we heard it.
I haven't been on the wrong track this whole time. I'm sure of it.
You haven't. You have been, actually, Joe. That's the thing, Apollo. You've been on the same one track in circular, and you haven't moved.
And don't you dare try to say that it was pointless because it's like for 50 minutes.
and Drew Mission's mysterious death. They're all connected somehow.
Indeed they are.
Jesus Christ, Shutakumi. Ingmar Bergman will tell you to pick up the pace.
Mr. Justice, do you have a conclusion for us? The defense stands by its case, Your Honor. We've seen that the logical outcome of the evidence makes no sense.
I sense an oxymoron there.
Which means that one of our clues must be a fake.
One of these is not like the
Like
other.
the
I
other.
smell leak bait.
Ah, a fake clue. Fascinating. And if we find this fake, your wild fantasies will prove quite reasonable, yeah?
Yeah, that's often how it works out.
Most of the time. The fake clue that's thrown us off the poisonous trail is none other than...
The Badger.
Drew Mission?
Yeah, you can't choose it.
Or is
Oh.
it?
What?
The victim
Oh,
was a
I got it
fake
right.
clue? I'm afraid I don't understand.
None of us do, Judge. It's okay.
Drew Mission was never dead.
He never existed. It's like
I'll explain.
Funny you mentioned that, Tio.
It's like Wake, it's like Wake Commander.
a fake identity.
Drew Mission was a robot all along.
Yeah, but I'll pull up the frame in a moment. Yeah, no. It's like Wake Commander. If you die, you never existed.
Yeah.
That all makes sense.
It does?
Yeah, it does.
What doesn't make sense is the victim himself.
Hmm.
Objection! Congratulations, you've completely lost me. Join the club, dude.
There you go, Pedro. You have officially become Clavier. You have reached the Enlightenment.
You've become the thing you hate the most.
Not just... Look, dude, you're late to the party. I've been lost for the last hour. Like...
That's what it means. Now you two are in sync.
Now you're
You have
thinking...
become one.
Now you're thinking with stupidity. It makes a good story. I'll give you it. No,
It doesn't actually.
Fake
the only
clue.
I would
Fakes.
punch.
Forgeries.
I would punch you, but that would break my monitor,
Oh,
so I won't.
Which monitor?
The one I'm looking at right now.
Oh, I was
Pedro,
wondering
just
if you were
print out a
referring-
picture of him and punch that.
I know that face. That's the I just had an idea face.
That's the thing, Shiro. Punching a sheet of paper is never satisfying.
Really?
Then
Yeah,
put it through a
it-
shredder. That's always satisfying.
It needs to be something solid, like
Why
more...
not just attach the paper to a punching bag
I don't
then?
know if I'm right, but I'm
Yeah,
going
that
with
works.
it anyway.
Or use it as a dartboard.
Yeah. One of our forger is the fake.
Oh, the forger is a faker.
Forgery of a forgery.
I have no idea.
I know. I'll print it. I'll burn it, and they're like, "Hey, Clavier, it's your hottest hit yet."
7
Huh?
years ago, our forger stepped a trap and did stuff. 7 years passed.
And my brother and I have discovered a new ace attorney, an attorney named Apollo. He's got a lot to learn, but it's a long time before he can save anyone. But I believe Apollo Justice can revolutionize the world.
No, he doesn't.
A weapon
That's
to
what I
surpass
want to
the
do.
attorney system.
Because the forger who was killed was a fake.
Ah.
They faked a murder.
Yeah, he was a deathbender.
Here we
Death
are
Benson.
again. The victim was a fake.
It was Don Paolo all along.
I think Clayton was just barely invented at this.
I don't think even Don
Actually,
Paulo
no,
could
Dwibs.
improve this, honestly.
Actually, no, Dwibs. This game came out in 2007 in Japan, the same year that Curious Village came out in Japan.
Yeah, no, that's why
so-
I said just barely invented.
Okay. Here we go.
There's 2 forgers, and one of them was a fake.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Now we actually are getting somewhere.
Finally, or like what, 54 minutes in?
Order, order, order.
So you are telling us that True Mission, the victim, was a fake?
Faye.
It's a special way of wording it.
Well, if he was the fake, who was the real forger?
I don't know your face.
You'd better not be claiming there was some kind of switcheroo.
Would it be the first time there's been a switcheroo? It's called there's a term for this in chess. It's called a King's Cross.
That's the thing, Jova. I think this is Clavier's versus attorney game.
Well, it technically is, Pedro.
No, as in his first one that he's played.
Well, like I said, considering what's going to happen in this case, it technically is.
His true mission wasn't the real forger.
Who could it be?
Whatever person it could have been.
John Cena.
Never see him coming?
Understood, Your Honor. No, he's just too busy chasing Autobots on planet Earth. Forger Drew mission was himself a forger.
No, it was
He was actually a clone of the real Drew Mitchum.
Triple H. Behold the king.
Wait,
Take that!
Wait, what?
There can only be one explanation, really.
The daughter did it.
The real identity of the forger known as Drew Mission is none other than
Our
his only
defendants?
daughter, Vera Mission.
Ooh, now that I realized, I don't think there's a name pun here. Well, aside from the sham part, but...
Order! I think that's done into silence. Mr. Justice, this is going out on a limb, even for you!
So much so that we got an explosion out of that.
Yeah. I kind of agree. I mean, Vera, a forger?
It's always the quiet
ones.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. The running trend of every defendant has a little something sketchy added to them.
Let's consider it before you write it off entirely.
I mean, stranger has happened.
If you look at the paintings in the studio, one fact becomes quite clear.
They're very
Crystal
mediocre.
clear, you could say. Wait a minute. She's Adeline from Kirby!
Forgery had been taking place in that studio quite some time. The forger wasn't caught in that trap 7 years ago.
Oh.
This can only mean that the one who was caught in the trap wasn't the forger.
He wasn't the target.
Well, actually, that does make a certain kind of sense.
You know what?
What
this
kind
point-
of sense?
No,
The
Shiro,
only kind of sense that doesn't lead us down into the plot hole avenue.
honestly, Shiro, at this point, I think it's just better if we just let the game think it does.
Only 2 sets of fingerprints were found in the forger's studio.
Just not silently.
Just let the game live off its delusion, Shiro.
Let
Just
them
it-
fight.
See, I'm okay with this with Kingdom Hearts because I love rolling with the nonsense that story is, but this is painful.
I have my limits with Kingdom Hearts 3D.
Oh no, everyone does.
Everyone does.
And Birth by Sleep doesn't exactly ever get a free pass either.
Honestly, with Kingdom Hearts 3D, I was just laughing so hard at the plot twist at the end that at this point, I was just laughing all the way through, so I still enjoyed it.
I'm sorry, I don't get joy out of the fact that a villain managed to undo all my hard work through time travel.
The forger was Vera Mission.
And it didn't help that the gameplay itself was sluggish enough, but enough about that.
You're not exactly helping the franchise's case with me here.
Oh, don't worry, Dwibs. Kingdom Hearts 1 is fun and cheese. Kingdom Hearts 2 is great.
2 games out of like 10.
Chain of Memories is Chain of Memories.
I like Chain of Memories.
Vera Mission.
Same.
I have a love-hate relationship with Chain of Memories.
Vera Mission!
Alright, Shiroi, your turn.
Sure.
I've been paying attention to the trial so far.
Okay, there's
Not
okay.
really.
Well, too bad because there's a test now. All right, let's just ask her and be done with it, shall we? please.
Please.
I want to go home.
Clavia's had
Pedro,
enough.
are you siding with Mr. Gavin here?
If it means the game will be over soon, yes.
Well,
But this is probably painful enough for him as it is. So don't rub it in.
Jova, if I can't beat him, I might as well join him.
yes, it's finally happened. You've joined the Gaviner side.
Well, Jova, at this point, we both have one.
Oh.
Pedro's now a member of
Hold
the
on,
cabinet.
something's wrong.
No, Shiro, it's much more simple than that. Me and Clavia right now have the same goal in common. This game to for fucking end.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Exactly.
Uh-oh.
What's this emotion you speak of?
Just staring holes into Prosecutor Gavin's face.
You see, Jova, this is a temporary truce. That's all it is.
Well, get ready, because this truce is about to drive us up the walls into the next plot twist.
I'm used to being stared at by Frauleins, believe me.
Bling, 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 bling.
Is that before or after they've driven your face into the curb?
Didn't you see? My hotness makes up for my flawed personality.
Well, if your face is on the pavement, of course it's gonna be hot.
Tell us, were you the one who forged these works of art?
Drum roll, please.
For the next part?
Vera? Oh.
Yes.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Bring me the smiley face.
Trademark mission.
Gasp. So the forger Drew mission was you?
I am actually truly my father.
That's some time travel.
Yes, it was me.
What the fuck is that?
Sad face.
Yes.
Crying from one eye.
Aww. It was me all along.
It was me. It was me. It
The
was
court
me.
wasn't up for it, and it wasn't coming down.
The court was throwing tomatoes at the court for the incredibly sorry excuse of a trial.
We had to break for a 10-minute recess.
I mean, well, that's minimal.
I think, judging from our reactions so far, I think we need more than freaking 10
I think we
minutes.
need 10 hours, or 10
Yeah.
years, or 10 lifetimes.
Maybe 10 days.
Keep in mind that this was all Phoenix's idea, so he's the one to blame.
Let's
This game-
take another 7
Oh,
years.
this is all going according to plan, Theo.
Of course
This
it is.
Driving everyone to insanity.
I don't believe you at all.
This game is just exhausting. So
Maybe
exhausting.
maybe Shiri, that's actually the plan.
Ugh.
Driving everyone insanity whilst purging the court system from the rotten apples. I guess.
You may be onto something.
See you for the next part.
See ya.
When we get our
Yeah.
sanity back, see ya.
See ya.